I'm Kristen.
And I'm Madison.
And you're listening to Pitch Kill Repeat, the podcast where the event industry goes under the knife.
For event industry insiders, this is going to be free therapy. But for everyone else, this is your backstage pass into the chaos and clout of the world of experiential marketing.
Right. So whether you dream in mood boards or you're just here for the vibes, we're peeling back the curtain on the world of events.
We're going to show you how the sausage gets made.
And who may have cried making it.
This season, we're covering marketing, branding, strategy.
And, major flops, questionable trends, and the bizarre world of brand experiences that are still somehow getting funded.
Join us every Thursday for Pitch Kill Repeat. John, I'm so happy you're here.
Thanks.
So excited.
Yeah, I'm thrilled.
I'm happy to be here.
This is our first guest recording episode.
Really?
So no pressure.
Yeah. Episode 2.
No pressure.
I feel the pressure.
Well, good, because there's a lot.
Good.
There's a lot of pressure.
As part of this, we have a recurring question every week.
Okay.
So, John, what is on repeat for you lately? This can be music, it could be food, it could be something that you do, but what's on repeat for you lately?
This is a really good question.
Pitch, kill, repeat.
So specifically, I want to make sure I'm understanding the question correctly. Mm-hmm. What is a product that is on repeat for me, or a thought, or
product, thought, habit, song,
anything,
food, snack, drink.
Right. I've been into
Instagram.
Protein iced coffee lately.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it taste good?
Yeah. It's kind of
Really?
using
I tried it the other
it's
day.
not too grainy?
No, because you use the protein mix as essentially your creamer in your coffee. So you get to hack it and get a little extra protein in your coffee.
Maybe that will be my thing when I come back. But right now, the thing that's on repeat in my head is my kids are getting older. I have 2 kids that are now in college. Mm-hmm. I'm 700 years old. And so I've got 2 kids in college, and I've got one in high school and one in elementary school. And I've got a dog that's 9, so a grandpa dog. Mm-hmm. And I feel this constant pull to be present, to figure out how to be present and enjoy these moments that are happening while they're happening. Yeah. And also plan for the future, and also not take everything too seriously. And it's not that useful for me every time I get home to be kids, we got to go on a walk right now and enjoy this moment together right now. Yeah, be present, dang it. So finding that balance of being present and being joyful and being aware at the same time of all that is terrible in the world, and figuring out how to hold space for all of that. I think that's what's on repeat in my mind right now, is how to have enough space to not turn a blind eye to how hard the world is for so many people right now.
It's real.
And not be silent and unwilling to take action in those spaces. And at the same time, not feel because the world is dark and hard, it's not also beautiful. Because it's somehow both those things. It's somehow incredibly beautiful, and I have relationships that I'm so grateful for and have so many reasons to laugh all the time every day. And then you turn the corner and there's just as many reasons to be terrified and cry and be heartbroken. And I think my tendency, especially when I was younger, was to force the world to pick a lane, to be you got to be one of these things, world. You got to either be broken and need fixing, or you got to be beautiful and perfect. And finding a way to say it's going to be both those things.
It's everything.
And you're just going to bounce back and forth through those with the people that you love, and hopefully find ways to decrease the pain. And if I can create little experiences that increase some wonder for people, or increase the size of their group that helps them feel some of those beautiful moments, that's awesome. That's a super bonus. But
it's the best feeling, letting someone kind of escape reality for a minute and just be in the moment, whatever that is.
Yeah. So that's what's on repeat, figuring out how to be a real human in a beautiful and broken world.
I love that.
Mic drop. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Kristen, what are we chatting about today?
Oh, today we were talking about the power of experience. So, obviously experiential has become such a thing, but now we want to talk about why experience is king and why brands keep coming back to the idea of bringing experiences into the mix.
So if experience is king, we thought, let's bring the king of experiences. I'm going to read a quick little bio, everyone, and then we're going to get into it with John. John Connors does unserious things seriously well. He works where experience design, interactive art, and large-scale events meet, always with a focus on human connection. In 15 years, he's brought ideas to life in over 200 cities across 30 countries for more than 5 million guests. That's wild. Launched the Color Run, created global events, and led projects for brands like the Major League Baseball, Adobe, Crumbl, and Owala. He's taught experience design at BYU, heads marketing for the Rise Lantern Festival, has written music performed by the London Symphony, and had art exhibits from New York to Houston. He's also danced in the Nutcracker
That's the most important
20
part.
times.
Yeah, that's true.
That
like one
was
of
a
the
goal
coolest
of
people
mine.
that
I
I
never
know.
did it. I'm so proud of you. John lives in Utah with his brilliant wife, 4 kids, a great dog, and a talent for turning ridiculous ideas into unforgettable experiences. John.
That's a really nice bio.
It's a great bio. We're so happy you're here.
I'm
Such a cool dude.
so happy to be here.
And so creative.
So incredibly creative. And I mean, you've got your dog, but we also were talking earlier about the alpacas in your backyard.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
So cute.
They're nice.
Yeah.
The dog is a little scared of the alpacas.
Oh, really?
Because I think the
that
dog
makes
thinks
sense.
they're just weird shaped dogs.
Right. And they're like,
And
this
so
is
it's
a
like, why
really
does that
big
dog have such
with a
long legs and
neck.
such a long neck? And it kind of freaks him out. But they look very similar. Like the way the alpaca's fur kind of grows looks like it. My dog's a golden doodle. Looks like a golden doodle.
Oh,
It's like a
so
mini alpaca.
maybe he'll warm up.
Maybe, I don't know. He's like 9 years old now.
Oh.
I don't
Okay,
think he's
so
warming
no,
up.
that's not
Yeah.
happening. That is
like,
not
yeah,
But they
happening.
coexist. Like they peacefully coexist.
Well, John, can you tell us about your career? I know I just read this bio, which is so impressive, but tell us about your career in your own words and how your experience has been.
I mean, I love what I do. I feel really lucky. Probably the overarching feeling I have about my career is I feel lucky to have been able to make a career out of doing something that feels so unserious. Like putting on events. You have to remind yourself this a lot while it's happening, because in the moment of putting on an event like Event Week, it feels like the only thing that matters in the world, and it feels that way to the clients often. And there's this like
Totally.
high pressure, but oftentimes it's like we'll literally pull myself back and pull the team back and say like, hey, we're feeling all this stress about setting up like 15 10-foot tall cookies throughout the city of Montreal. Like, this is a goofy thing we're doing, and we should do it well and do it excellent, but it's we're not saving babies. Like, we're doing fun, whimsical, goofy things, and I feel lucky to have made a career doing that. The through line kind of all of it for me, I think sometimes about like why I like doing it, why did I start doing this, and why do I still want to do it, and what sort of, how have I found a way to keep myself interested in it for all this time. And I think the through line is I just really like seeing people surprised by things, seeing people like discover something out of the ordinary and discover something that makes them pull their phone out in the best possible way. I think the idea of pulling your phone out to take a picture has got sort of a bad rap, because we think of a lot of like photo taking as editable and not tied to the real world. But I think at its core, what you're trying to create is a moment that someone says, I want to remember this moment. And the way we remember the moment usually is to take a picture with the phone. So
or share it with somebody like, oh my God,
so
look at
you can
this.
say,
This
hey,
is
look
so
at this
cool.
thing and talk to someone about it, or I want to remember this thing for a while. And that the idea of creating memorable moments has always been exciting to me and remains exciting to me. What changes over time is like, what type of things do people find memorable? Because a lot of what you're trying to create is in relation to what everything else people is saying. Like, how do you make something that sticks out in this sea of everything else?
Yeah, that's the name of the game now, I feel like.
Oh, totally. And have you seen, I guess, from the beginning of your career to now, what those changes are with what resonates with people?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think there's some human psychology to what like we remember, and I don't know that has changed a ton. Like I think people still are, our lives are basically these collections of memories we have, and people are out trying to collect interesting memories that represent the type of life they want to live. And so they're sort of hunting for memorable things. I don't think that has changed a lot. Like I think people are hungry as now and were 15, 20 years ago for memories. What feels to me like it's changed is, 15 years ago, Instagram was just barely getting started. Facebook had been around for a little bit. Our lives were not so tied into a social media environment. And I think and I don't want to like be super negative about that, because actually a lot of good in my life comes through social media. A lot of relationships I'm able to keep up through that. And I think it has some positive things. But the big change over those 15 years is there's just a lot less attention available.
Yeah.
Like we're...
Oh, so the pressure's higher.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how do you cut through that clutter, right? Because
Yes.
there's so much out there. So it's like, what are you doing? And how is it going to break through? Or is the algorithm going to be your friend that day? Or, like...
there's just
how
so
are you
much
working around
noise.
those?
There's so much noise out there. And everywhere you go, it's almost like if... You ever been to like the farmer's market? You go to the farmer's market and there's like booths everywhere, and it's hard to take it all in because there are so many booths of things. And if you picture like every third or fourth booth is like one of your personal friends, like you go to a farmer's market in a town where you spend a lot of time and you know all these people. And so there's this element of it that's social. There's an element of it that is economic, where you're going to buy something, you're going to try to discover new things. And there's just like a lot of noise with that. Like it's tiring to go to a farmer's market on a Saturday.
That's true.
Social media is that all day,
phone.
every day. Like you've got your friends, and then you're going to get like 4 ads, and then you've got your friend doing a cool thing. Then you've got someone you like and have this sort of relationship with them or their brand online, but you don't have like a real personal relationship, and you're then having to figure out, is that person advertising to you right now, or are they telling you something interesting? So you've got like real friends and real brands, and then this whole space in between of other people you follow who sometimes are marketing to you and sometimes are not marketing to you. And there's just less attention available.
Do you think it makes the experiences that you create, or at least the intention that you have going into it, I said the word pressure before, but I guess my question is, does that impact you? Are you thinking more on I don't know how to word this question, but how has that changed? No, having that feeling of, I want to really actually connect. So at the inception of an event or an experience for a client that you're working with, is that in the back of your head?
Yeah, it is. I think that because since that attention is more scarce, I think there was a time when like just novelty was enough. Like if you were just novel, then you'd probably done enough. And I think we have to offer more value than that for it to be worth someone to give up a resource as scarce as like their time and attention right now.
That's true.
And so there's the shift for me a little bit, and the conversation we have a lot with brands is just how do we create in this noisy space something that is novel and also valuable. Like it's a thing that afterwards they'll want to remember, like is worth remembering. Creating something worth remembering.
Well, because there's the way to make it worth remembering by like, oh, they've got the really cool design or something like that, right? You think of like the physical and like, sure, they'll take pictures of that.
Yep.
But is that the experience that they're going to take back? And is it tying back to the brand in a way that's meaningful, that's going to create that connection, right? The whole point of experiential is to create that connection between brands and consumers so that you get a consumer for life. You know what I mean? In experiential, that power of storytelling ties so much into the power of experience. And so as we talk about integrating storytelling into experiences, how does that work? What if you're working with a client who has a product or something that like isn't as exciting? Like, Have you ever had to like,
Yeah, how do you tell that story for them?
yeah, have you
Even
ever
if
had
they
to
have a
put
bad
together
story?
an
Good
idea?
story, bad story.
I mean, there's not a lot of products that actually work that have a bad story. Like, so there's an element where if they have a bad story and you have the ability as a vendor to just not work with that client, then maybe don't work with the client.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe a client doesn't even have a story. Sorry,
That's what
continue.
happens more often, I think.
Yeah,
I think
right.
more often what happens is the client will reach out because experiential marketing strikes them as something they should do.
Well, they see the value.
But they don't know exactly why they should do it, or exactly what the purpose would be. They just see a lot of other brands doing it and think we should do something like that also. And then when you get into the conversation, and this happens a lot, especially with young brands, it's really hard to plan a good experience with a brand that doesn't know their brand, like that hasn't yet developed
yeah.
a brand voice or a brand strategy, or like how would we, if you sat and had a conversation with our brand, like person to person, pretending our brand is kind of a person, just tell me about the personality of your brand. What do you want your customers to think about you as a brand? How would you respond to a post one of your customers did? All those things. If they don't have a sense of what that is, then experiential marketing, it feels almost like they're not. Either they can use experiential marketing to try to develop that, which is okay, but it's probably that they're just not quite ready for experiential marketing yet.
Okay.
Because experiential marketing is not, it's a brand building exercise. It's not a performance exercise. Like you'll better be able to measure your digital ads. You'll better be able to measure activity on your website, a bunch of things that are much more measurable. So if you have a company whose primary focus right now is like, we need short-term sales, like we're just trying to move product right now, experiential is not the best tool for that. Experiential is a really good top of funnel tool and a really good brand development tool. And then if you can couple that with a really good middle and bottom of funnel digital ad and retargeting campaigns, you can create a pretty great flow. And then it circles through and through where you do experiences that strengthen your brand connection to your guests and customers and potential customers. And then you're following up with digital ad and email campaigns and social campaigns that give them additional information about the product, and they've already developed some trust with you through this in-person experience, and it pushes through to a sale, and then you have another in-person experience potentially that further deepens the relationship, and then that pushes through to digital marketing and more sales. Like that wheel works really well.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a client who pictures and understands the importance of developing a relationship with their customers and your brand that is not measurable specifically by sales data, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle.
Have you crafted a new story for a brand that resonated with them so well that that's kind of the direction they're going with it? Have you helped direct that for brands that haven't known what to do?
I mean, I would say experience puts you in a spot where you can collaborate in those things. You know, it's usually not going to be the best route if I am telling them or even pushing them towards the type of story they want to tell. But I have had cases where, like, I had a client reach out and they were opening a new location for one of their stores, and it was their first time going to a new country. And so there was a certain element of, we want to introduce they basically just said, we want a cool experience to commemorate this moment.
Right.
But there's like a million type of experiences you can do.
Of course.
And so you start asking questions to get to like what type of experience you want. And through that like discovery phase, we're able to get to an idea of, what are you concerned about? Like, what are some concerns you'd like to answer
That's good,
through putting this on? Or what's the story? Sometimes if they're having a hard time knowing what story they want to tell, sometimes it's easier just to say, tell me what story you absolutely don't want to tell.
Sure.
Like, what's the story you don't want told? And one of their takeaways was, we don't want the story of we're sort of this big U.S. brand coming in and taking over your small city, and we have no personality and we have no like understanding of what matters in this community, and there's no kind of artistry to what we do. We're just like a big box store coming and dropping our
Here's
into
American
your
corporate
place.
culture just dropping into.
Yeah,
That's
and
good
so
that they're at least mindful of that.
yeah,
That's
and
huge.
understanding that helps say, okay, so you want to tell a story about you as an authentic, artistic brand that also understands this community and wants to interact with the community in a meaningful way. And knowing that allowed us to pitch some ideas that said, like, okay, what we ended up coming up with.
Yeah, I want to know what you did.
What we decided to do was this brand's specific product is a cookie, and they're really beautiful. And so what we decided we would do is let's create pieces of art, like museum quality pieces of art of these cookies. Let's make a 10-foot tall sculpture of your 10 favorite cookies. So pick the 10 that you think represent the brand the best.
Can you send us pictures of this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love this.
Let's make like photorealistic sculptures that are like handmade. So like real pieces of art. And we're going to put them on plinths like you would see in a museum. So we put it on like a 2-foot tall metal box and then the big cookie on top of it, so that it was saying like, and then we put no branding on the boxes actually. It was just saying like, this is like a sculpture. Like you would almost think someone put this sculpture out here.
I love that you didn't put the branding on it.
And then what we decided to do is say, let's find in this city like the 10 places that you would go take a picture if you were from this city. And a friend visited and they're like, you got to go see these 10 spots. Let's find like the 10 most iconic spots in the city. We'll then get a permit to display the cookies in those 10 spots throughout 3 days, throughout like the weekend leading up to when you're going to open the store. And then on the digital side, you guys do a scavenger hunt where people go find all 10 cookies. Like there's some prize they can go get at the store type thing. So there's a tie-in there.
How much did these cookies weigh?
They weren't bad. Two people can carry them.
Oh, nice. Okay.
They're like foam core. They're sculpted foam core. The bases are very heavy because the cookies on their stuff are like a big
it needs to be.
Well, they have to
so
be
the
weighted
base
so
has
they
to
don't
like
fall
hold it
over
down.
on someone.
So it's like a stainless steel base.
How long were these cookies out in the wild?
3 days.
And they were able, like you had, they were weatherproof.
Yeah,
totally
they were weatherproof.
I love this
They're made
so
like
much.
a playground toy, so people could crawl on them and things.
Wow.
And the idea was we would put them all out overnight. Like people would go to sleep, wake up the next day, and there's like cookies everywhere. And the articles that came out were literally like, brand has placed these giant cookies all over the city. Yeah. And it was really cool. People would go take pictures with them. And what it ended up being, which is what I like in experiences, is in my mind, a really good experiential campaign helps a guest or helps whoever your target audience is do something that they kind of wanted to do anyway. And then you and the brand you represent helped give them whatever like extra little push they needed to do that. So like when we started the color run, over 65% of the people that ran the color run had never run a 5K before. And so the relationship with the color run was not just this was a fun event, but this helped me do a thing I wanted to do. Like I set a goal to run a 5K, and I ran my first 5K because of this.
John, I did the color run with 4 friends in New Orleans, and 2 of them had never run a 5K in their life.
There you go.
And they were stoked that they were going to get colored in
Well, it's
all
changing
over.
not the stigma, but it changes that perception of what that 5K is, rather than just thinking about it being this
it's a party.
grueling thing
Yeah.
that
It's
you're
a
never going to
party.
be able
It's
to
not
do.
a run, it's a party.
You put a spin on it,
great.
and
Right.
you made it fun for people so that they're not even thinking about running. They're just like, this is badass, and I'm getting to run with my friends, and there's like color, and it's just fun and playful.
John,
so I think that's, in my mind, that's what you're trying to pull in with the experiences, because then you start to create a relationship where this brand helped me do a thing I wanted to do. In the case of these cookies, it was late in winter. It's like March. It's up in Canada. It was super cold. And you had people doing this thing and commenting like, this is so good. Like, it got me out of the house. I haven't been out to see these spots in the city for a little bit. It was fun. We drove around and remembered like all this cool stuff we have in our city and
That's
cool
true.
places to go visit. And so it provided, it doesn't have to be a huge thing, but it provided a piece of actual real value besides just what our product offers. Like, here's something that we're going to give you that, based on our understanding of our customers, is something that you would value.
Yeah.
And that can be, again, I had one exhibit where the end goal was I wanted everyone to write a postcard to somebody. Didn't matter, send it to anybody. Just our exhibit will pay to mail it. So then we had a bunch of stuff throughout this exhibit that kind of encouraged people to think about letters and letter writing and words and how meaningful words can be. And then as they went through this sort of half-hour art exhibit, they got to the end and we had a bunch of like school desks set out. We had this giant mailbox and people could sit down, and we had postcards designed by local artists that they could pick whichever postcard they wanted and write as many postcards as they wanted, put them in the mailbox, and we would mail them. And that sort of emotional resonant moment of like, this is a thing that I've been meaning to do. Like, I've been meaning to sit down and write my mom a card. Like, you'd see little cards that are like, Mom, I love you. I'm in Salt Lake City today, or whatever. And some of them were total jokes. It would be a message to their friend and some sort of weird inside joke that wouldn't make sense. Others were really heartfelt. And then we had the thing I didn't expect that came from that is we would get 5 or 10 letters a day that we started calling like lost letters that were written to people with no addresses. So it would be like, to my 6th grade boyfriend, and they would just write something. Or they'd say like, we had a bunch of people that would write to parents who had passed away or children who had passed away, and using this like moment to create
like this catalyst for like releasing
to create a letter that they wanted to write. And I guess that's probably my other takeaway for a good experience is if you can create an experience that gives something to people that they've kind of wanted to do, and there's some barrier has been in the way, and now you're helping them cross that barrier. That's great. And then if you can leave enough space in whatever you do, like it's not so formulaic and dictated that they can personalize it a little bit. Like any amount of personalization will leave enough room for them to create something like that's not just memorable, but that's like meaningful and potentially transformative. Because you sort of have those layers. Like, I can create a memorable thing, I can create a memorable and meaningful thing, I can create a memorable, meaningful, and transformative thing. And you won't know about the transformative one till later, because you don't know if it's transformed your life until a little bit later. But knowing that going beyond just being memorable and moving into creating meaningful usually involves some sort of like personal customization is a useful thing to know. But if you leave enough space to co-create something with people in your experience, you open up the opportunity for some pretty cool connection.
Yeah,
with
a lot
people.
deeper connection. It's like the difference in getting your name getting personalized on something versus something deeper like that, where you're actually getting to like have a little bit more creation in it, and it's not going to more or less be the same for everyone that's attending.
Yeah.
Which naturally you're going to have a deeper connection. That's going to be that like core memory that you've just created for that person that will always connect you to that brand.
Yep.
Well, and I mean, your bio talks about your focus is on human connection. I love that, because it's almost like your role and experiential and all of everything that you know how to do, your end goal is that. And what's beautiful too is that that also will resonate with whatever company, or between the company and whoever their guests are. Like that's invaluable, that kind of experience, or that kind of experience. I just hate that I keep saying the same word.
The experience is funny because experience is such like an overused word, so it's hard to know what to use in place of experience.
Well, you used the word memory earlier.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that replacement.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Rise Festival?
Yeah.
A little bit? Okay,
sure.
Because I'm attending. It'll be my first time.
Awesome.
And it's my understanding that it is a very deeply connective experience for people.
Yes.
Right? So what's the there's a lantern.
I mean, I'm kind of new to Rise Festival. I joined their team this year. But yes, there's a lantern, and it's a lantern festival where people write on lanterns these sort of wishes or thoughts or dedications or whatever it is that they feel like they want to release into the sky, and then light lanterns, and then collectively this group of 16,000 people a night release their lanterns all at once. And there's a cool moment in that, in the spirit of connection, where you're having what starts as a deeply personal experience of thinking, what do I want to write? What am I excited about or struggling with or wanting to express in some way, onto this lantern. And you're right there with you. And that may expand to your little group around you, but you're having a very hyper-focused personal experience. And then you release the lantern and look up into the sky, and there's 16,000 other lanterns. And you make, whether you're conscious of or not, the pretty simple jump from my lantern involved a lot of personal thought and wading through joy and pain and this funky mix of emotions that is our life. And I wrote down on that stuff that really matters to me. And now it's up there, and I can't even tell which one it is amongst those, what feels like millions of lanterns. But every one of those represents someone else's meaningful thoughts and joy and pain and whatever they're wading through in their life. And you look back down and see this crowd of people around you and realize that's them, that these people, I don't know what their thing is, but they've got a thing too. We all have a thing that's hard, and we all have a thing that's beautiful. And there's a sort of connection that comes with that, of realizing we have a lot in common too. And that's another example of creating something that people want independent of your brand. I want to better understand the people around me. I want to feel like I'm part of something bigger than just me. Rise helps.
Barriers.
Yeah, Rise helps create that for people. And then, when you have identified what is that, what is a value I can really, a real value I can add to people, then a lot of the job after that is just execution.
Yeah.
But the harder, more important part is first identifying, what's the value we could add?
Totally.
Then execute it really well.
Very cool. That reminds me, there was an activation like that at Sundance Film Festival years ago. Similar, but smaller scale. It was typewriters that they had in the space, and you would, or actually I don't think it was typewriters. It was something where you would type something in and send it, and this little printer would print out this little slip of whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they had these strings hanging in the room, and they clipped on all these little printouts, and so it became this really cool art installation at the very end, because you had all of these hanging things with all these little papers with all these different things that people either were sharing a memory or something that they wanted, or just that same kind of aesthetic. But it was just really cool at the end of the day to see all of that. And people would read others, and they would be like, oh, that's really cool, or oh, that's so sad, or that's beautiful. And
it just all the human experience in one room. You're saying,
and even though you don't know
lanterns in
that
the
person
sky.
per se, you will feel some type of way about it, and that will still stick with people whether they realize it or not.
When did that click for you? What part of your career were you thinking, this is it? This is the human connection, and the meaning piece of this matters to me a lot?
Pretty early. I mean, there was the first year of the color run. So this is 2012. We did an event in Michigan, and there's two stories that happened around the same time. Our fourth event was in Denver. This story probably is a better one. And we did the event. We put it on. It felt like it was a great event. But they were starting to feel like just events. They were really fun to do. But there was sort of the same thing every weekend. We ended up doing 60 events that year. So we were doing, multiple color run events a weekend. And at this Denver event, we got a message after from a mom who said, hey, my daughter ran the event this year. She was a little kid. Her name was Pearl. and she had like a childhood cancer. And the color run is something that she had seen somewhere and decided she wanted to do. And so they had printed up pictures of the color run and put it in her hospital room, and it said like, we're going to get to this. Like, we're going to find a way to get to doing this.
Oh my gosh.
And that was sort of like a thing that everyone would talk about, and she would talk about. And ultimately, like, no credit to the color run at all for this. Ultimately, she got better and was able to run the event. But what I realized from this message from her, and it was she wrote the sweetest thing. She said, I went and ran the color run with all the people that I love, and now I hope to one day get married at the color run. She was,
Oh,
she
oh
was
my
like
God.
10 years old. And
you
so,
might change your mind, honey.
and yeah, like, I don't know if this is the place you want to do that.
You might reconsider.
But every year we would send her and her family tickets once we opened the event, and they would come run the event. And we bought a bunch of Girl Scout cookies from her one year for her Girl Scout thing. And we just sort of developed this fun relationship. And at least in that case, it started to feel like the color run as a product, like a 5K that you run and people throw paint on you, was not the thing that we were even trying to sell in marketing.
Right.
It was sort of the way to deliver what we were actually trying to sell, the actual value that we had. And the actual value we had was giving people some moment of happiness in like a pretty tough world. And the more I realized then, kind of the more we could help people see how this product delivers that, delivers an opportunity for connection, delivers an opportunity for happiness, delivers an opportunity to do something fun or goofy, we would be better served. What's tricky now, and it worked great because that was genuine. That's really what we were delivering.
Yeah.
What's tricky is, and this goes way back to your original question of like, what if it's not a great story? Like, not every brand is that, and not every product is that. Like, I do think it's tricky if you get like a vacuum company that calls and it's like, we want to do an experience that talks about how like having a vacuum changes your life in this super positive way.
Oh yeah, there's hard ones. We had to think of a interactive experience for like a smoke detector company.
Oh,
You
know what I mean?
boring.
Or super
Yeah.
sad. Like, you could do like,
Oh, actually, sorry, that was so insensitive.
I mean, boring, yes, probably, but also
No, but sometimes it's tricky because
Yeah.
you're like, okay, but like we'll get there, but it takes
Yeah,
a
you
little
gotta
bit
turn the
more
wheels.
than
Yeah, and sometimes it's like not every story needs to get back to like, and this is how we change the world. Sometimes it's just like, our vacuum sucks less, or our vacuum sucks more. Maybe that's a funny one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, our activation is going to be
Yeah.
our vacuum sucks the most.
yeah.
And we do something that shows like we have a giant thing that sucks up tons of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's funny. You don't always have to get to like a super meaningful thing. And that's changed even over the era of the color run. And around the time of that color run launch, like, we could tell a lot of stories like that. Nowadays, another one of the changes, in addition to people having less attention, is now like everyone is a marketer, everyone is a brand storyteller, and everyone's like bullshit detector is so like finely tuned.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing I feel like we end up talking to clients a lot about is like, we have to do something that's authentic to
Right.
like what we are as a brand, what you are as a brand, what your product really does.
Totally.
So not every product can create an activation that's going to make people like cry.
Right.
for
But
example.
you can make people laugh.
But yeah, you can do a funny
Yeah.
thing.
You can
You're
still
good at
make it
things.
memorable.
Yeah.
You can still do all those things. But yeah, the core, I feel like now that will really set brands apart is going to be that authenticity factor.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, just be what you are.
Yeah.
And let it ride.
Yes. And so
Yeah.
then again, it comes back to like, you got to know who you are. Like, if you don't know who you are as a brand, it's going to be really hard for us to do this well.
Yeah.
Because then we'll just start looking at, I don't know, this is usually what the client will come to you with is, we saw some competitor brand do this cool thing and we want to do that cool thing.
Right.
And that's, you sort of end up asking like, why then do you want to do it? Like, it's already been done. So we're going to be second to market doing that thing. What is the is there something about that specific activation that feels like it really tells your brand story? Or is it that you're seeing a competitor move and you want to make sure you're showing movement that shows you connecting with guests? And if it's that, then let's think of something different. Let's think of a new thing. But there's usually quite a bit of explorative question asking.
The power of why. It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. Oh my gosh. Well, we could talk about this for literally hours.
I know.
Or days.
I know. And you know what? I do love your soothing voice.
Yeah.
By the way.
Thanks.
We talked about that earlier.
The best.
We're going to close out with some rapid fire questions. Okay. So
I'm ready.
this is how we like to end all of our guest episodes. Chris and I will alternate. I'm going to start and you just answer as quickly as you can. Okay, John?
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. Best city to throw an event or favorite?
New York City.
Okay. Yeah. Hands down.
Airbnb or hotel?
Hotel.
Best swag for an event. Don't ask questions. Just what's the best swag?
Best swag for an event. I'm getting closer and closer to the point that there is no good swag at an event.
I mean, facts.
We feel the same way.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Same.
So it might be a recording, a voice recording. If there's some sort of voice recording element of it, or like a video that I send as part of it, that might work.
That's cool. Okay.
Like a content takeaway.
Yeah.
Window, middle, or aisle seat when you fly?
What time of day?
Doesn't matter. Anytime.
Nighttime window.
Okay.
Because I don't want someone crawling over me when I fall asleep.
On knockout.
Daytime aisle, never
Yeah.
middle. You'd have to be.
Yeah, I don't
Who
know
would
that
pick
anyone.
middle?
No one's picking
Monster.
middle.
Yeah.
No one's picking middle. Okay. Kimmel, Fallon, or Stewart?
Stewart.
Okay.
Good choice. One celebrity that you would love to plan a party for?
Living celebrity. We'll go
Either
with living.
one.
Well,
Living could be a pitch. This could be a pitch.
Yeah, dealer's
this could-
choice.
Dealer's choice. Man, I do not follow celebrity culture very well, but Roseburn.
Oh, Roseburn's the
I
best.
think she'd be rad.
Good
yeah.
choice.
Okay. What's your walk-up song?
Walk up song. Let's say TV on the Radio. A song by the band TV on the Radio.
Good deal. And last but not least, when all is said and done, what do you want to be remembered by? How do you want people to remember you?
I think what I want, a couple years ago, I was on a podcast and they asked me, hey, is there any like last thoughts that you have, like last thing you want to say? And I said, if you're ever in Grand Rapids, get the crack fries, which are these really good French fries in Grand Rapids. And I think about this all the time. I'm like, what a dumb answer. You're like, what's your
that's how they're
parting
gonna
message?
remember
And I'm
you.
like, get these really good French fries if you're in Grand Rapids. And
actually
so
love that
I
answer.
think all the time about, well, what would I have said? Because it kind of came out of the blue, and I'm like, what is the takeaway? And what I would want to say if I could redo that one is that you'll never regret prioritizing your relationships with people over a business outcome. And that hasn't always felt true. Like there have been times with Color Run and things and other companies where it seemed like, oh man, we just need this particular short-term business outcome so bad that maybe it's worth like burning this bridge of a relationship, or maybe it's worth like turning our back on something that we said we were going to do. And the further I get away from like being at tables where those things are discussed, the happier I am. It is never worth that, especially in a world as small as the world we live in now. Like there's enough stuff to be sad about. Like don't make prioritizing some short-term business outcome over a real human being one of those things. But I actually think it works out for the benefit of brands in the long run too. You know,
100%.
that little extra time you spend to come up with a better solution for someone, even though it doesn't show immediate revenue, it tends to work out.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. John, where can people find you?
You can find the easiest place to find me is you can email me, john@everythingexperience.com, JOHN. You could find me on Instagram at OwenJohn if you want to see pictures of my dog and my kids and things like that. And sometimes my art stuff is
And the
on there.
alpacas.
and sometimes alpacas are on there. You could check me out on LinkedIn, John Connors, almost exactly like the guy on Terminator, but he doesn't have an S. It's John Connor.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you. This has been so fun. I could talk about it all day.
I
Call
mean,
me
yeah.
anytime.
I could
used
listen
to.
to you talk about it all day. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
hearing your experiences.
The
Great.
best.
Well, this is awesome.
The best of the
Thanks,
best.
y'all.
You just listened to an episode of Pitch Killer Pete.
And if you liked this episode, leave us a review.
And if you like us, you can add us on social media. My Instagram is...
Okay, Mads. That's a wrap.
Bye.
See ya.